Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Please make sure you've hit the subscribe button and you've hit the like button for this video. So, back to Commander Land. All Will Be One is still here. It's still looking good. And there's commanders I'm picking up all the time. So, second video this week featuring a commander deck. And it is also the one of the stream replay I put up on Saturday. But it's been updated. Now, as part of the stream on Saturday, I was having a chat with Lolman02, who's one of my followers on my stream, and we were talking about this commander, and I built it, they built it, we played it in the last game of the replay of the stream that I posted up on Saturday morning. So I decided to go back to this commander and have a look at it, and I've updated it. So this is the updated version of what you saw me play on stream in the stream replay, or if you've been on Twitch, which is down below, so go over there, give me a follow. I'm trying to get to 175. 150 at the moment, so if you can go and give me a follow over there, that'd be great as well. But this is the commander that I've updated. So what are we talking about? Well, today's commander is Urtet, Remnant of Memnarch, a 3-mana legendary artifact creature, Mir, for 2/2, and whenever you cast a Mir spell, create a 1/1 colourless Mir artifact creature token. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you get to untap all your Mirs, which is ridiculously good, and then you can pay Wooburg, tap it, and put 3+1/+1 counters on each Mir you control. You can only activate it during your turn though, so you've got to work out a good time to activate it. But this is just a crazy commander. It's really, really good. If you watch the stream replay, you'd have seen how well the deck did for me, and I've updated it since then. That was just me putting it together really quickly. The original deck build's there. So, what does the deck look like now? Well, at the moment, we're looking like this. We've kept 42 creatures in the deck. We've got 21 other things and 36 lands, so slight changes. And there's a few cards you can see that are in the original deck that aren't here now. But there's a few things I want to point out. Just so we're clear, land ramp is all multicolour stuff, including forests, 2 of each of the basic land. I always try and do that in a 5-colour deck, just so we can get there. Now, I've got no way of searching them out, but I'm not overly concerned about that, so we've got a few other ways of doing things for this deck. One of the things I do want to point out is because most of the cards are colours, because it's a Mir deck, I've got all 3 of the Urza's Mine, Power Plant and Tower in here. I haven't put the other Urza's creature things, they're not Mirs, but one of the cards that has worked out in this new updated build for me is Hall of Tagsin. Having the 4 mana and the ability to tap it to create Power Stone is actually really quite useful in this deck, because we have a lot of things in here that are just artifacts or have got activated abilities now, and it's kind of key having that mana there to do it. So I just want to point that out. The ramp, there's only 1 ramp card in the whole deck for a change, and that's Sol Ring, because basically most of our Mirs create mana, so we get there. But let's just go through it. I mean, it's what you're probably expecting to see, and I'll just go over the updated cards that I've put in since the stream replay went up. So, we've still got Elixir of Immortality. Mir Servitor is here. Now, obviously, Mir Servitor says, return all the other cards named Mir Servitor from the graveyard to the battlefield. Not going to happen that often, because you only can play 1. It's not like some of the other creatures in Commander where you can play multiple copies. But at the end of the day, if you've got Urtet out and you drop this, you're getting 2 power on the board for the cost of 1 mana, so it's still worth having in there. You can take out, it's one of the Mirs you can drop, but hey, it's a Mir deck on the whole, and I wanted it in here. Going on from there, we've got Mir Smith, because we can pay the extra 1 most of the time for the artifact spells to get another Mir token, which is nice. Power Stone Engineer is just here because when it dies, it does give us a Power Stone token, which we can use. We can use the Power Stones to do Mir Smith, triggered, activated ability, which you can use the Power Stone mana for. Cyclonic Rift, it's here for a little bit more board control, because we do come up against things. I mean, at the end of the day, our Mirs are 1/1. Someone starts playing things that are going to kill our Mirs off, we're in trouble. So, we've got the Copper Mir in, the Gold Mir. I'll just skip through the ones when we get to the ones that do the whole mana ramping thing. Call Tappers here. We've got nothing to put charge counters on, which is a bit of a shame. But at the end of the day, it's another Mir for the deck. You can add something in, I have thought about replacing the Soul Ring with something a bit more useful that we can charge up with the counters, but at the moment Soul Ring is working fine, and this is just a mirror to make me get the extra 1/1s. Genesis Chamber does create mirror tokens, so we do get to pump things up when we've got Urtet in play. Admittedly, it gives everyone else who plays a creature a mirror token as well, so be a little bit careful with it. Gold produces white. Hovermere is just flying and vigilance for 2 mana, which is quite nice from the original New Phyrexia set, if I remember correctly. He says, yeah. Ikiclaw Mere from Scars of Mirrodin gives a little bit of infect power. Yeah, we like a little bit of infect. We don't need a load of it in this deck, but you know, again, it's another cheap Mere. Iron Mere for the red mana, Leaden Mere for the black mana. One of the new cards from the build from the stream replay is Metallic Mimic. I decided this was actually a really useful card to have in here, because you can come in, choose it as a mirror, and whenever another creature of the type of the chosen type enters the battlefield with the +1/+1 counter on it, which is great. If you're producing all these tokens with Urtet, they come in as 2/2s instead of 1/1s. All our mirrors come in bigger, so it made perfect sense to me to add it in after I thought about it after the stream. Mere Convert, a little bit of toxic, but we can pay 2 life and add 1 mana of any colour, which is useful when we're trying to get to Wurberg, so that's why we've got the Convert. Retriever just brings something back to our hand that's been killed off. Sire just creates another mirror when it dies, so it's fairly hard to kill off. Mere Superion comes down most of the time on turn 3 if you've got it in your hand, because you would probably have cast a couple of these. Or turn 4, depending how well you're doing. But bear in mind, it's actually a really good card, and at 5/6 for 2 mana, if you can cast it using mana produced by creatures, all well and good. Perilous Mere shocks something when it dies. Plague Mere is more infect and more mana ramp, so that's colourless mana in this turn. Silver Mere produces the blue that we need. And then finally, another impact from the stream replay. Steel Overseer. Everything's virtually an artifact creature. This pumps them up even quicker, including itself. Yes, it's not a mirror, but we might have a way around that. Into 3-drop land. This is where a lot of changes come in. Knighted Mere is still here. We've left that in. Arcane Adaptation. This is what I'm talking about. We're going to name Mere for this. So literally every creature, as soon as we get this in play, becomes a Mere, which really does help us. And therefore, it just makes all the little bonuses from some of the things we've got coming up very, very useful indeed. Bear that in mind. Anyway, Scion Master Thopterus is good. This worked really well for me in the stream, as you saw. Sacking the 2 Thopters to draw a couple of cards is fine. Don't mind sacking them. I'll soon keep my Mere than my Thopters, but yeah, a little bit of flying defense is always good. Sarcomite Mere, I think I've said that right. Sarcomite Mere, maybe. Again, I'm not sure about this one. This is probably one of the weakest Mere, but it does sack off the draw card, and we can give it flying if we need to at a push, so yeah. Growing Rights of Inimitech is an easy include in this deck. You could put, I mean, I could have put Gaze Cradle in here, but that seemed a bit pointless. But this is just as good. You go and find a mirror you may need, then it flips really easily in this deck, and then you've got enough green mana to start doing special things, as you've probably seen. I'm coming to the card I did special things with in a minute. I've included a few legends in here, so we've got Hannah's Ship Navigator in here just to return anything that does get shoved in the graveyard to our hand, and most of it is artifacts and enchantments. Etchings of the Chosen is come in, choose it as Mere, pumps our creatures up. It's a nice way of getting a little pump in that doesn't involve around Urtet and this 5 mana side. So, you know, and you can sack a creature, sacrifice a creature of the Chosen type, and target creature you control gains indestructible. So you do need Mere for this as well, so it's all good fun. Junkyard Genius gives us a Power Stone token, and it's another little sacrifice outlet if we need to give us +1 and Menace and Haste, which means we can get through if we've done a big turn and we've got a whole load of Mere tokens in play. This does give us a way to, you know, we sack one of the Meres and makes all the others that much more difficult to deal with. Our Blessed Engineers, maybe a point of damage, maybe a +1/+1 counter, but most of the time when I play this, it's going to be the Power Stone token. And this is definitely a home for Broker's Ascendancy. Chucking +1/+1 counters around at the end of our turn to put on all our creatures is just fantastic. We've only got 1 Planeswalker in the deck, so we're not too worried about the loyalty counter side of it. But yeah, chucking the +1/+1s is really, really nice. Alloy Moir gives us another way of adding coloured mana to the pool to activate Urtet. Chromatic Lantern's another new include from the one you saw me play the other night. This is here because then it makes it so much easier just to do the Wurberg bit over here. So hence why we have Chromatic Lantern. Darksteel Mirror is indestructible, so it's very hard to deal with, and especially once you start pumping it, it does become a threat quite quickly. Custodian is okay. It's quite nice from the new set from Phyrexia Orby one. You get a scry, everyone else gets the scry, so it resolves most of the time. It's a bit like a friend to party Jace, put it that way. Galvanizer is another +1/+1 and untap each other mirror you control. So it's a nice way to get extra mana. You know, maybe you can activate Urtet twice before you attack, so bear that in mind. Propagator is how I won the game, if you watched replay the other night. Just creating loads and loads of token copies based on growing rights mana was just amazing, and it works so well, so hence why it stays here. Mirror Reservoir, just to add the mana to cast the mirror spells or activate their abilities, and this gives us a nice little way to return stuff that's maybe been killed off from our graveyard to our hand. Welder, we get to exile a target artifact card from our graveyard, and it has all the activated abilities of the card exiled with it. Nah, not probably the greatest thing in the world, but at the end of the day, it's a 1/4 mirror, so yeah, it still triggers. Paladin Mirror, couple of mana. Shimmer Mirror, just for the flash, and you know, gives all our artifacts the ability to have flash, which could be quite useful, especially if something happens and we get Wrath, you know, Day of Judgmented, Wrath of God, so on and so forth. And Sun Touch Mirror, we do get away getting Sunburst, 3/3 mirror, and then making it really big is really easy. Now, oh, excuse me. The full drop slot are where a lot of the changes are from the one you saw on stream the other night. I've included, it's a token deck at the end of the day, so I really should have Anointed Procession and Parallel Lives in it from the start, which I didn't think about. Day of Judgment's still here, just to control the board a little bit with Cyclonic Rift. But I've also chucked in Porphyros, God of the Forge. This is an easy way for us to win the game. With the amount of mirrors we can create in a turn, we can just ping our opponents to death with Porphyros. So yeah, it's a little bit beardy, but whatever. I mean, we're never going to get it turned on as a devotion to 5. We haven't got any more. We've got what this is going to. Well, we may turn it on, but it's going to be really difficult to do. I doubt we ever will. But it's just to sit there, deal the 2, and maybe eventually pump some creatures out if we've got spare mana floating around. A red mana and a couple of Power Stones maybe. Visions of Phyrexia I've kept in. I still like this card. I don't think it sees enough play in any format at the moment. Exiling the top card's great, and if it's not a card you're worried about, like a land, you don't mind losing it, you get your Power Stone token. So, swings and roundabouts, but I'm definitely keeping it in. Jorah's still made the cut. Everything we're playing, there's so many artifact spells in the deck that we're going to be drawing cards, and we do really need to do that drawing. Khan's still here for the +1 on the Power Stone. We can do the whole pay any amount of mana and look at the top many cards from your library. One in the hand, the rest on the bottom if it was something we really needed to keep down to, but it's mainly the +1, get the Power Stone to ramp on mana. Lodestone Mirror is still here as well. We can tap a load of our untapped artifacts if we need to. Don't forget all the tokens, if we haven't given them haste by some miracle, we can tap them to make sure the Lodestone Mirror is even bigger. Great Desert Prospector has stayed in. This card was fantastic for me when I did the quick build on the stream the other night, and the extra Power Stone tokens this produces, I think it ended up producing 8 when it came into play for me because of the tokens I had. That mana just sitting there doing nothing, sitting there ready to be used whenever I needed to, was really, really good. So yeah, I'm keeping this in. It's really good in this deck. Reflections of Littjara. Now, it's another one where we get to choose Mirror as a creature type. And if we've got Arcane Adaptation and then we choose Reflections of Littjara and put that on Mirror as well, we get to do some very stupid things very quickly, especially with things like a Great Desert Prospector. 2 of these come into play with a few Mirror in play. Yeah, you're going to have enough mana to play the rest of the game and not worry about anything. So yeah, I think it's really quite good fun, this one. I've kept Isha Tanker Armor in from a while back. It is still here from Dominaria. That's the one I was looking for. But it's quite nice. Comes into play. Top 4. Most of our mirrors, do cost less than their power. And so, any number of artifact cards for mana value less than Ashley's power. Now, if it comes in with power of 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, we've got all these. If we can even get some of these into play off this, it'll be great. Yeah. Don't forget, it's also a nice sneaky way of getting the Superior on and play as well. But, it helps us hit our Mir tokens. Mir Matrix, I've put this in because it's just fun. Mir creatures get +1/+1, and you get to, you know, with all those Power Stone tokens we're hopefully generating, you can pop out Mirs all day long if you want to. And the Turbine's in as well, just to tap it to create a Mir, and then we can tap 5 untap ones we control, search for a Mir creature card and put it onto the battlefield. Since everything will hopefully be a Mir, that means we can go and get things like Steel Overseer. We can go and get, I don't know, anything we want that's a creature, basically. So bear it in mind. Broody Cloud is around. I've put it in just to make sure the tokens have haste if we need it. I know it goes back in time. It's one of the more popular ones from years ago. And it does, you know, still turn up now in CDH decks every so often. But, you know, turning all our 1/1 Mirs into 2/1 Mirs, it seems like a good idea to me, so hence why it's here. Likewise, Eerie Ultimatum, I ummed and ahed about this one, I have to say. But at the end of the day, I decided to make the decision to keep it in, because if we can't find a way to return it, you know, Elixir of Immortality may not be there, but Eerie Ultimatum does give us away. It also means with Eerie and Elixir, as long as we've always got one of them in play or one of them ready to go, we can always never get milled out. So, yeah, happy with that plan. Obviously, the Battlesphere, Mir Enforcer is still here. You know, Affinity, the Mirs it produces, fantastic. I've kept Darksteel Forge in at the 9-drop, just so we can have the indestructible side of things, which saves a lot of our Mirs from all sorts of painful things. And obviously, Rise of the Dark Realms here as well, just so we can go, at that point in time, we can ramp up to it and hopefully get everything back into play, especially if you cast like Day of Judgment or something. But that's it. That's the updated version of the Mir deck. I'm still not sure this is the most optimal build for Urtet, but it's the build I'm going to be playing again at some stage on the stream. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you think I've missed anything. Hit the like button, hit the comment button, leave me something there. Make sure you're subscribed, and hopefully I'll see you on my stream soon. I hope you had a nice day watching this, and thanks for watching. Take care. I'm out of here. Bye.